And in high order, we remember to stop before we start and take a pausing breath before we even say, Happy Valentine's Day, beautiful people. I am Reverend Vicki Jeter, your senior minister for Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you, everyone, for being with us this Sunday, February 15th, 2026. LCSL welcomes you on your Valentine's celebration day. Expressions of love gathered together can heal the world. So together we can reach for every day being Valentine's Day. We welcome all paths to God. We welcome your challenges and your questions. All pieces and paths of spirit, all areas of life, and parts of ourselves are essential to a world that works for all. So if you're here for the first time, yay, thank you, thank you. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for being with us because you are why we're here. Now, in addition to Valentine's Day today, we're also shining important light on recognizing Black History Month. Tammy Ellis is our practitioner today, and she will bring us those insights when we get to them. And we're also honoring the beginning of the Chinese New Year that actually happens on February the 17th, officially as like their New Year's Day for the beginning of their calendar. And it's a whole lot of fun, quite fascinating, realizing the parallels between our astrological system and China's New Year calendar. Some of you might be familiar with thinking about, when you go to a Chinese restaurant and they have on the border of their mats all the little animals that are different parts of the Chinese year. So, all of that being said, it's time to take another pausing breath, check in, and see what brought you to be with us today. What part of your personal masterpiece are you painting today? Taking our intentions into opening prayer, I recognize one life, one love, one infinite, everlasting source of all that is, emerging continually, forming and transforming and forming again. And as it is the all that is all, it is all I am. As it is the all that is all, it is the all of everyone within the sound of my voice, every cell of being and every aspect of life, emerged of the one. And from this alignment in mind, heart, and soul, I realize for this day that I open myself as a vessel of the word spoken. And that word spoken also moves through our beloved speaker, Reverend Carolyn, for this day, walking the path of life, embracing the edge. And we simply say, yes. Together, we stand in that courage to be open at the top, to open our minds, our hearts, and our souls to the fullest potential of what is meant for us, that which we have not quite been able to reach in and of ourselves is available to us when we reach in community. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God, for all of this and more. I release it, I let it be, and so it is. And this brings us to our opening song, Get Ready, My Soul, with Daniel Naaman.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning here. And I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
And now for our announcements. We're going to be having our men's group this Thursday, or actually, sorry, not this Thursday, February 19th. It's the first and third Thursdays of the month, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. I know the guys who attend this really enjoy this, so if anybody else wants to join of our men in our center, or if you know anybody who'd like to join, you're very welcome to come. They have great conversations. Our speaker for February 22nd, Sunday, next Sunday, will be our own Reverend Vicki Jeter, talking about embracing the edge of the possible. We're going to be having a class in the spring called The Magic of the Soul. That's going to be the class is called The Journey of the Soul. From the book, The Magic of the Soul, we'll be reading together, Applying Spiritual Power to Daily Living by Patrick Harvill. Harry and I already ordered our book, so if you want to join us for this class, it would be awesome. It's going to be starting Wednesday, March 11th, and run through April 22nd. The fee is $100, and so the total is going to be $140. And our instructor will be Vicki Jeter, and our prayer practitioner Katrina will be the assistant. If you'd like to register, you're welcome to talk to Vicki. If there's an issue with the money, please let Reverend Vicki know. We would love to have you join if you have an interest in coming. We have Codependence Anonymous CODA meeting on Mondays. The only requirement to attend is a desire for healthier relationships. And that's every Monday except the last Monday of the month. That's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's this Zoom meeting here. If you'd like to join, you're welcome to, and you have any questions, you're welcome to contact Reverend Vicki. And I'm going to pass this one to you, Reverend Vicki.
Thank you, Tammy. For those of you who might not have been able to see that screen, the CODA meeting is not the Zoom meeting you're on now. The CODA meeting is a separate Zoom link, separate Zoom number. And if you would like more information about that, let myself or Tammy know as well. I just wanted to clarify. Also, I noticed on the slide for the class, there's a little comma there after the dates, and my intention was to go back in and add the times. Somebody pointed out to me, I believe our wizard Vernon, the class is from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. When it starts March the 11th. So I just want you guys to have complete information. Go ahead. And it is my pleasure to give you our financial update coming right along. As you know, our monthly budget goal is $2,550 to be able to keep doing what we're doing as we do it. And so far in February, the number here is $1,655.62 received. And this morning, we received yet another excellent donation that's going to bring that down. The amount we need presently was sitting at $894, and with the donation that we had this morning, that's going to come down to around $750 more that we need to make budget. And so everybody just keep knowing we can absolutely do this as a community so that we can keep doing this and more. Thank you, Vernon.
Please join us for sharing time after the benediction, after the closing prayer, just to have some nice companionship together. And Would you like me to read this, Reverend Vicky, or you?
Um, I, we hadn't talked about that, so I will proceed. But thank you, Tammy, for your willingness. I have to think about that. Um, Moving from our announcements into our declaration of purpose, I encourage you to say this with me if you choose. The purpose of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living is to be a vital hub of beloved community. We learn and practice care and creativity for the gift of life as vessels of oneness, a synergy of spirit, soul, mind, and body for all beings. The mission of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living is to teach personal transformation as a virtual community, living the principles of science of mind and celebrating all paths to God, which manifests our vision of a world that honors and respects all people. And this brings us to our application of what we believe that is dovetailed to the topic for today, and it is: our inner insights are not meant to stay hidden. They are meant to be achieved in the deed. And that is by Howard Thurman. And now I turn this to our practitioner of the day, Tammy. I'm thinking about that, Tammy. I realize if you had kept rolling right through that, then you would have just rolled right through sacred reading and meditation. So we will have to talk about that.
And now this is we scroll down to my reading here. For our meeting, in honor of our theme, Life on the Edge, Embracing the Edge of Life. And since February is Black History Month, to honor that, here are some inspirational, powerful quotes for reading and meditation. So I offer these to you for our own lives of how to embrace the edge of life. Maya Angelou. We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. Oprah Winfrey. There is no such thing as failure. Failure is just life trying to move us in another direction. Denzel Washington. At the end of the day, it's not about what you have or even what you've accomplished. It's about what you've done with those accomplishments. It's about who you've lifted up, who you've made better. It's about what you've given back. Bishop Desmond Tutu from South Africa. My humanity is bound up in yours, for we can only be human together. Elphaba, a beautiful character in the movie Wicked, played by actress Cynthia Erivo. It's time to trust my instincts, close my eyes, and leap. And now for our meditation, I'm going to give you a couple of questions to consider from these powerful quotes about our own lives. So if you'd like to close your eyes or just relax your eyes, just take a nice few deep breaths in, just noticing your stomach, your chest, just rising and falling, just pulling in that oxygen and letting out the carbon dioxide. Just that wonderful cycle of bringing in and letting go. What is something that I have accomplished in my life that I feel good about? What is something in my life that I have accomplished that I feel good about? When was there a time that I felt like it was failure or extremely stressful, but the situation moved me in another direction that was better for me? And right now in my own life, how can I trust my own instincts and move forward in my life? Is there something in my life now that I would really like to trust my instincts and move forward in my life? So I bring that to my mind now, and I call in divine spirit, or whatever your word is for God, divine spirit, source, and ask for that assistance to simply trust my instincts and leap forward. And let's take another few nice deep breaths in and allow them out. Again, just that nice cycle of bringing in air and then letting it back out easily. And I'd like you, if you so choose, to put your hand on one shoulder and just pat your shoulder and just say thank you to yourself. Thank you, divine source, higher power, for what I have accomplished in my life. I am so grateful. And then just let that hand come down and allow your other hand to go to the other shoulder and just pat yourself, or just have your hand right there on the shoulder and just allow yourself to say, I am open to trusting my instincts and continuing to leap forward in my life. With immense gratitude for today, for life, we say, and so it is. Please enjoy our special music, The Walk of Life by Dire Straits.
This rich guy loves organs and spent $1.8 million last night at Radio City so he can play their organ. Always wanted to play it. only trouble and the strife. You do the walk, yeah, you do the walk of life. You do the walk of life. Ooh.
For those of you who may be curious, as I was, the dancer in that video is Sven Otten, and he is from Sweden or Norway, and very famous for his ability to do that. Um, as you all know, Reverend Carolyn is foundational to our community, and she normally introduces herself. However, because today is special with regard to some things we have to offer about this topic, I will say that just to recap, our topic for the month is embracing the edge. And this week, we're walking the edge of life with Reverend Carolyn. And in the process of preparing for today, I was mentioning at the beginning of service that I was actually looking for Valentine's Day cards, and I came upon a very striking card in the Jackie Lawson collection, and it was so beautiful that I just had to click on it. It was under their new cards. It wasn't for Valentine's. It was under their new cards, and suddenly I'm realizing the coming of the Chinese New Year, and so to open Carolyn's time, we are going to have the wizard play for us a Jackie Lawson card celebrating the coming of Chinese New Year. Watch carefully.
Good morning. The card that you just saw and the idea of the fire horse was something that Vicky brought to my attention. And when she first said fire horse, I was like, what did she say? But that's what she said. And I really have enjoyed reading about it and thinking about it. And the year 2026 is going to be very special. The fire horse only comes around every 60 years. The rest of the time, the cycles are much shorter. But then this one is every 60 years. And the fire horse, the first slide, Vernon. the Chinese New Year is based on animals. Each year has an animal. And I know we've heard of the year of the snake and the year of the dog, etc. And this one is the seventh one in that 12-year cycle. It's the 12. It's more than 12, but anyway, it's considered to be the symbol of strength, energy, passion, and freedom. Bob and I have been watching Heartland, and we've been watching it now for 11 seasons, and it's all about horses. They're different things that they do, the bonding that they do with human beings, and it's given me a new appreciation for a horse, just how spiritual they can be, how supportive that they can be to the people that have them and own them. And the so when I think of this, of the strength, the energy, the passion, and freedom, I visualize different horses that have expressed that through this show over the years. And I embrace those ideas, and I embrace the wonder of the many horses that I've seen. They're beautiful and they're strong, and they are really connected to the human beings that are in their lives. The fire horse bolsters your confidence and helps you focus on what you want to achieve and how you will get there. So when I think about that, I think, all right, the year 2026, that will be my 81st year. And what do I want to accomplish in that year? And I've set myself some goals that are challenging. They will be something that I will have to work on a lot to accomplish. And so when this came up, I thought, well, that's kind of cool. I know that I will have the support to do what I want to do, the confidence and the help in focusing. Now, is that just associated with the Chinese New Year? No, those are spiritual principles. It's just that these bring those principles to my awareness. They remind me that I am, as one with spirit, I am encouraged. I am bolstered. I am guided, directed, and supported in achieving my goals and becoming more of the person I am meant to be. And I find that comforting and encouraging, and a challenge to take the goals that I have set for myself and to see them accomplished. All right, the next slide, Vernon. One thing is certain about 2026. It is a passionate, action-oriented year. And that's what I want. A passionate, action-oriented year. Sometimes people at my age begin to wind down, and I do too. But I want 2026 to have more passion and to achieve my goals, and some of them are very physical, and be that year of, wow, that was a good year. Thank you, Bernard. The topic today is all about the edge of living on the edge, the ability and call to truly live your expression of spirit. We are one with each other. We are one with spirit, and we are called to be evermore. And that's what we're going to be doing. That's what I'm going to be doing. The topic, they have approached it and looking at silence, and we're going to be talking about silence. But they first talk about, and I thought this was very interesting, I'd never really thought about it, the spoken word, the written word, the ability of language is the thing that has created and supports and allows us to create civilization, relationships, all of those things. If we didn't have a way of expressing our inner thoughts, our inner feelings, our goals, our life, then we couldn't connect with each other and we couldn't grow. Um, we have, as human beings, this incredible ability to communicate, to try and accomplish understanding each other, really feeling and knowing what another person is thinking and what they're feeling, and to be able to attach that to ourselves. So it's very important that we give uh, recognition of value of the spoken word, thinking about what it does for us, what it allows us to accomplish. Um, we, I just, all right, let me read this because they say it better than I can. To be able to make sounds, convey specific meanings, and deliberate notions, to be able to put at the disposal of another the feelings that nestle within the inner life, to be able to reveal oneself in symbols which make clear and do not betray. This is the miracle and the gift of the spoken word. To be able to put us out, to put out the essence of who we are so that we can be understood and appreciated and supported. And all of those things is a result of the spoken word, the written word, the language that we have. Uh, it is the word that can create or destroy, splinter or make whole, redeem or damn. We all know people that use words destructively. They attack other people. They create things that are negative. They create movements that are negative, and they cause damage and separation. We all know that. But we also know those people who use language to heal, to comfort, to support, to create atmospheres of love and wonder all around them. So one of our challenges, and we hear it different ways in Science of Mind when we talk about all of this, is to use our words constructively, whether they're words that we speak to other people or whether they're words that we speak to ourselves. Are they constructive? Are they supporting us? Are they bringing about unity and cooperation? They have the power to heal and the power to destroy. And our opportunity is to recognize that and use them wisely. But words come from silence. First, there is silence, and then there are words, there are noises, there are sounds that bring about structure in our lives. But first, it begins with silence. Silence is the vessel of spirit, of presence. Now, we get it in all ways in our lives, but when we go into the silence, and as we learn to let go of what we're going to do in the silence and really listen, then we can hear and experience the presence, spirit, wholeness, life. And if we listen, we will hear. We will hear things that encourages us, things that teach us, things that bring us to a new place in the silence. That's where it begins. And from there, then it gets translated into communications with others. Thurman invites us to consider what might happen if we trusted silence. Trusted silence. I don't know about you, but I know that the power of meditation is really important. And I have known that now 30, 40 years. I have been told that. I've experienced it. And I have tried to make it deep part of my life, but it's really sometimes very difficult. You go into the silence and then your mind takes off and does all sorts of things. And to come to the place where our minds are quiet and that we can hear and listen is one of the chief things to make a go in your life, because it will enrich and bless you in ways that you've never thought of. uh, Sunny Cantrell is the head of our organization. She is a spiritual director, and she's been doing that now for a few years. She also is the minister at the Lexington Church. She founded it and is the lead minister there. And she is a very intelligent, wonderful woman who creates and brings about so many things. She writes an article every month, and I think this one was November. And she talked about how her parents every summer took them home. They lived in one state, but they were from another state. And every summer they made it a point to go home, to see the grandparents on both sides, to see aunts and uncles and nieces and nephews and cousins, and to experience family and friends in that way. They would go for like 2 weeks. And she talked about how wonderful that was and how that created a thread in her life, a thread of connection with her family, not just the immediate family, but those further back, and created this thread of wanting to enjoy that, wanting to experience that. Now, my parents were from Groesbeck, Texas, and it was sort of halfway between Dallas and Houston. And I was born in Dallas, lived there for 15 years, then moved to Houston. And we went home several times a year, back to Groesbeck to see grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins and nieces and nephews. And I happened to have cousins that were about my age. So it was always a lot of fun to go because I had someone to play with. It was in the country, and it was just a total different experience than what I had in Dallas. But that is the thread in my life that I recognize as having given me a foundation of understanding and appreciating family and connection. When we talk about threads, we talk about things that minister to us, that create who we are. And our life is a combination of all these threads. They come, they start in childhood, some start later in life, but they're things that are foundational to who we are. They're things that have created who we are, who influence what we do and what we say and how we react. And they can be followed to help you understand where you're coming from and where you're going. So I really like that image, and it reminded me when we talked about sweetgrass, and we talked about braiding sweetgrass, and that's a very Native American kind of understanding and philosophy. The sweetgrass is known to be healing, and it is symbolic, and they braid it. And we braid in our lives these different threads. The thread of connection to my family, my commitment to knowing each other, is still a part of my life. It's something that I still treasure, but I've let it fray a little. But still, it's there along with all the other threads in my life. I wish I could say I gave the same thread to my children, but I didn't. My brothers and I were not close, and so we didn't get together. We got together with mother and with dad. But as far as getting together on our own, we didn't do that. And we had this, that one of them lived in Chicago, one of them lived in Atlanta. I was in Houston. So it wasn't easy for us to get together. And so I kind of lost that thread for my kids, and I'm sorry about that. They know they're cousins, but they were never close to their cousins. And so I regret that. But it was life. It's what it is. And our life is created that way by the threads that are very strong and very obvious, and the threads that are more subtle, the threads that influence us, that create our attitudes toward life and our understanding of what they are. They create the tapestry of life. I know that you've all seen a tapestry, and when it's on the front, it's beautiful and it's balanced and it's wonderful. And then when you turn it over, it's a jumble of threads, and it looks like a mess. It looks like it can't possibly be beautiful, but yeah, flip it over, and yes, it is. Our lives are a little bit like that. We have a lot of mess in our lives, and we have a lot of threads coming here and going there and all around. But when we flip it over and we look at it as a whole, our life is perfect, even though it doesn't look it. It is, because we are spirit, and spirit is the influence in our life, and it brings it all together. So as we honor the silence as much as we treasure the spoken word, we will grow in our understanding and our acceptance of all of life. Another minister wrote a story about dolphins. We talk about the connection with each other. We also have the connection with nature, and it is a great teacher of spiritual principles. This minister wrote about riding in a sailboat. She lived in Southern California, and some of her friends owned a sailboat, and they went out one weekend to sail around, and she was having a wonderful time. And she was laying on her stomach, looking over into the water, hanging her head over and looking down into the water. And as she did, she saw a streak of silver go by. And then she saw another. And then she saw another. And then she saw a dolphin jump out of the water. There were 8 dolphins, and they were playing with this sailboat. They were having a wonderful time of jumping and diving and circling and just having a wonderful time the way dolphins do. And she was so blessed by that. She's looking at the dolphins, and a few times she caught the eye of the dolphin, and they were sharing a moment as they looked at each other. It made a huge impression on her of the connection and the oneness of it all. There's not the world and nature and then us. It's the world and nature and us. And that connection will feed us if we will allow it, to notice the things that are around and to really pay attention to them and to honor them. When we are challenged to create a field where divine ideas can surface, that creating that field is treasuring the silence, looking at nature, listening to it, listening to the silence, appreciating all the connection and noticing the threads that connect us and all that that is. So, okay, I'm going to have to go get my book. Trust, not the mystery beyond words, is not empty. It is alive, speaking and waiting for you to hear it. Trust that the mystery beyond words is not empty. It is alive, speaking and waiting for you to hear it. It's in the silence. It's in the listening and hearing as the silence reveals itself to you. Just to be aware that the silence and the presence is always right next to you, closer to you than your breath. And then when you have a glimpse of it, pay attention, honor it, be happy that it's there. Okay. There is no place we must go for the silence. There is no particular posture we must assume. There is no formula we must repeat. We enter this inner tabernacle by whatever route we may. Comes from Science and Mind 632. Your path into the silence, your path into the knowing, to appreciating, to expressing, to growing in the presence of the one, which is you and is me. But your path is yours. It's not something that you must go into silence in a certain way. There is a way that you will figure it out and you'll discover that's right for you. There is no particular posture that we must assume. You know, I've had teachers say, okay, you can't lay down. Oh, no, you can't recline. You have to sit up straight. Well, that's not easy for me. I recline. So that's my path. Yours is something different. That's a caution. When someone tells you you have to do this or that, take it with a grain of salt and know that that's their idea. That's their experience, not yours. Yours is going to be unique to you. There is no formula that we must repeat. A mantra is a wonderful thing, but yours is different from mine, and mine changes, and so does yours. So there's no one formula. There's lots, and you'll pick the one that works for you. We enter this inner tabernacle by whatever route we may. Give me a minute. When I was preparing for this talk, I came across this, and it seemed the perfect way to finish what we're doing here, what we're talking about. And I can't believe I didn't put this book here, but whatever. It is easy to do. Samantha was talking about meditation earlier and that Holmes is difficult. I read 365 days. Raymond Charles Barker and Ernest created it. And I have used it for years. Some of the days, but some of them are just perfect. And I never get tired of it. I always go back and read 365 days. So this comes from that. And it is an affirmation, an acknowledgement, a claim of what is true and what is right. And so this will be our closing today. So I invite you to relax, to maybe close your eyes and listen to the words and use them. I am going to use the I am. Please use the I am as you listen and know that these are words for you, truth for you. I am, I affirm that I, too, am of the original spirit, and that it is doing something new through me today. Therefore, everything I do is original. It is a new creation. There is a new enthusiasm, a new zest for life. Even the old songs I sing are different because of a renewed influx coming from the maker of all music. The divine spirit is flowing through me in an individual way. I accept the genius of my own being, since the original artist is doing something new through me today. I do not imitate others. Each is a king in his own right. Each is a divine being on the pathway of an eternal unfoldment. Gladly, I recognize and unite with the genius in others, but always keep the uniqueness of my own personality. all the presence there is flowing through me in an original manner, I invite the inspiration, the illumination, and the guidance of God, and gladly cooperate with them. In this moment, I claim for each of us the knowledge of our own uniqueness, the glory of our own path, to express and to be the perfect expression of spirit that we are. I claim this for each of us. I know this for each of us. And I know that in the coming year, we will be supported, we will be encouraged, and we will express more and more the joy and wonder of life. And with a breath, I let it be. I know it's so, and so it is.
My goodness. Thank you, Reverend Carolyn, for the dolphin story. I love the beach and the ocean, and I've been with dolphins before. That really touched me and reminded me just to stay in touch with that awe and beauty of life and connection and unity. And now we're moving into our prosperity affirmation and giving time. Your love and support are greatly appreciated. We gratefully accept a credit card or debit card. You'll see the copy of the link in the chat for PayPal or Zelle online. Or you're welcome to mail your check to Louisville Center for Spiritual Living, TC, P.O. Box 43958, Louisville, Kentucky, 40253. And if you'd like to say this out loud together, on the count of 3, our February prosperity affirmation. 1, 2, 3. As a vessel of divine spirit, I am persistent, I am prosperous, and I am focused on limitless possibilities in life. And now I pass to Reverend Vicki to bless the gifts.
And as I take up this word in blessing, I know that when the truth is spoken, the truth sets us free. And I just want everyone to know that the wizard has made me aware that the Zelle link for that prosperity slide needs to be updated. So I'm just saying, as I name that truth, we will manifest a correction for that. And with that kind of guidance, with that kind of clarity, I absolutely know the support of spirit. I absolutely know that everything, every time given, every talent offered, every treasure offered moves through this little basket like the fish and the loaves and is multiplied to our prosperity and abundance and given out to the communities around us here and in the 7 or 8 states that we have represented in our community and the 2 or 3 countries that we have represented in our community, knowing that if I be lifted up, lift up all unto me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. And thank you for our little frog person there holding up the heart to remind us that the love is truly what it's all about. And so I let it be, and so it is.
If you'd like to stay on the count of 3 with me, 1, 2, 3. We are magnificent, beautiful people. I love watching Snoopy do the Snoopy dance. And for our closing song, please enjoy The Light of a Clear Blue Morning by Dolly Parton.
You know, we're living in troubled and uncertain times.
Yeah, we sure are.
But we can't let the darkness win.
It's time to wake up.
Yes, 'cause I can see the light of a clear blue morning. Can you? It's been a long, dark night, and I've been waiting for the morning.
It's been a long, hard fight, but I see a brand new new day dawning. I've been looking for the sunshine. You know I ain't seen it in so long. But everything's gonna work out just fine, and everything's gonna be alright. It's been all wrong. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see the light of a brand new day. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay. It's been a long time since I've known the taste of freedom and those clinging vines that had me bound. Well, I don't need none. No, I've been like a captured eagle. You know, an eagle's born to fly. Now that I have won my freedom, so free, like an eagle, I am eager for the sky. Everybody's singing. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see the light of a brand new day. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay. 'Cause I can see the light of a clear blue morning. I can see the light. I can see the light of a brand new day. I can see the light of a clear blue morning. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be alright. It's gonna be okay.
So many people have commented how much we love that song, and I'm so grateful to that collaboration because it floats us right into our benediction. I invite you to say with me, if you please. Infinite presence, I give thanks for divine spirit in us all, affirming that we each find our unique way to give, serve, and love. I know that the divine takes pleasure in our inspired living, our intuitive actions, and in the sound of our voices uplifted in joy. Thank you, God, forever. Amen.